Okay, so yeah. Good morning, everybody. Unity of Walnut Creek. Good to see you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. How you doing? How's everybody doing at home, watching online? Folks outside? Great to see you all. So please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing I Choose Love. Now, peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Now let's take it in and send it out to the world. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you. We on here? Mic on? Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Carl Jansen. Did anybody have any fun last night doing anything? I've been to a few of these now, and that was probably the best one ever. That was a lot of people having a lot of fun, and coming out of those COVID years, I know we're all excited when we have events like that.
And I have a scratchy throat this morning. I had that much fun.
How could that happen?
Welcome, everybody. My name is Carolyn Jansen. I'm glad you're here today. Please join us by turning to the camera and waving to the folks at home.
Hi there.
Your presence adds so much to our experience today. Thank you for being here.
And please join me in welcoming our guest musician, Karie Hillery. And she is joined this morning by Dusty on bass and Larry on drums. And our Unity song leaders today are Lisa and Diane. Thank you all for sharing your music.
And Reverend Kristin will be delivering today's message. Today's message is titled Neighborly Love.
So before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silence as we enjoy this sacred time together.
And let us take a moment to be grateful for the land upon which our center sits. This is Bay Miwok in Ohlone land.
And we honor its ancestry, and we are so grateful for those who came before us and took care of this land. And we now commit to taking care of not only this land, but Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual learning, living and learning.
And learning. There you go, both.
Our vision is for the world is, we envision a spiritually awakened world where all of life thrives in conscious oneness.
And our mission is who we have come here to be. A loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. And our core values are love, which we'll talk about today, connection, service, and wisdom.
So if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you feel comfortable raising your hand, we have a welcome packet for you. Okay. And we invite all of you to visit our bookstore across the patio after the service and to take time to greet one another on the patio and enjoy your visit together.
Connection cards are available in the newcomer packets if you pick one up, and they're also available in the seat pockets in the pocket in the back of the seat in front of you. And these are for everyone. And with this card, you may submit a prayer request, and we will pray with you throughout the week.
And you can also share feedback and request information and just place it in the basket as it comes by. For those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the Watch Live page. We have several activities to highlight this week.
Would you like to understand more about Unity's finances in a more detailed level than we are able to present at the community meetings? If you want to do that, you can join me at 1 o'clock right here, and we'll go through that. Yeah, Richard wants to find out. Wait, he's the president. He doesn't know by now. It's a little too late. It's all up. Richard, you can be here or not. You're always invited. But for anybody that wants to join me at 1 o'clock right here, we'll go through in a little more detail.
And Wednesday, join Lucia. Lucia, would you like to stand? Wave to us. Lucia Owens is going to be teaching the foundation of wholeness and love Qigong in person. And these movements promote wellness and release stress and can be done standing or sitting. And the class meets on the fourth Wednesday and the fourth Sunday of each month. For more information, pick up a flyer on the patio or visit our website.
So would you like to learn how to release the divine power locked within you? I think everybody wants to. Good. Expand your faith, confidence, and success in every area of your life by taking Bob Hardy. Where's Bob? I know there he is, right there. Taking Bob's class, and he'll be using the classic Unity book, Discover the Power Within by Eric Butterworth. So please sign up on the patio or by sending an email to office@unityofwalnutcreek.org.
And now I'd like to invite Holly Cursis to this platform so she can tell us about her new workshop coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Holly.
Good morning. I'm Holly, and I was wondering, have you ever wondered what your role in life is, what you're here to do? So I guess we all have. So join me next Sunday for a 2-part workshop that starts at 2 o'clock, and we'll be exploring what your personal core values are. I know I always thought that Mother Teresa was a perfect example of a spiritual being. That kind of left me coming up short. I am not Mother Teresa. I don't have the skill set, and I don't have even the inclination. But what I realized was that if we were all Mother Teresa, the world might actually be kind of boring. So I think each of us has unique and wonderful talents and gifts that we're here to share. So join me next week in exploring your contributions to this beautiful world. There'll be a sign-up sheet on the patio, and my card's there. If you have any questions, you're welcome to give me a call. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. So please see our website for a full listing and registration and login information for our events. You may also pick up flyers. There's flyers for almost all of these things we talked about on the blue table on the back of the patio, and you can register in the bookstore.
As we prepare for our time of meditation, please join me in taking a conscious breath together and affirm our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We'll begin today with a reading by Terry Curtin, followed by music and guided meditation and silence.
Oh, no, but, no, I think I just switched it on. Try it.
Can you hear me now? No? Yes? Are we good now? Okay, yay, okay. Okay, let me start over, okay. So, the reading is by Unity Reverend Jocelyn Mason. The Unity teachings teach us that we are all one community, that we are all members of one family, that we are all part of God. There is oneness. The teaching of unity help us to come into a deeper understanding of welcome, equality, and diversity, opening our doors so all people are welcome to come. The world needs unity. It's all in our name. The world needs us to step up and to reach out. Black people are a part of this America. Black History Month is just the beginning of opening ourselves up to greater ways to search for and to understand the part that African Americans play in our culture and the part that all people really play in bringing unity to our country. In this month's African American history, I hope you will reach out and find out more. I hope you also will realize the spiritual depth of unity and the depth of spiritual practice is oneness. Jesus taught us to love one another, to love your neighbor as yourself, and yes, everyone on this planet, this beautiful planet, is your neighbor. We're all together neighbor on this planet. And so it is.
Beginning with music, followed by some guidance and silence. Beautiful rhythm of the song we just heard. Letting the words seep deep into our hearts. I am, we are, God is. God is the power and the presence that permeates the universe, including my own being, that of the people I sit beside or who right now sit across the world. We are. We are a part of that one power and that one presence that permeates the universe. I am made of infinite love. And love flows through me until I decide to stop the flow. God is this love. And God's love flows wherever the gates are left open. And even if for just this time of meditation, let us open our hearts and let love flow in and out with every breath we take. Letting ourselves receive the love that arises from within us. And on the out-breath, letting it go wherever we wish it to go. Maybe to an ache or a pain in our body or our heart. Maybe to a thought pattern that isn't helpful. Let's let the love flow through our beings and receive in the silence. Now taking that breath in, and as we breathe out, let's send it beyond our beings to the places in the world and the people in the world who most need it right now. Letting our love flow. Our love may be flowing to Syria and Turkey, to Ukraine, to Iran, to whatever places are on your heart and mind right now. It is that love that is sourced by the divine, that is ever powerful and present and ongoing. That there is no end to this love. As it is given, we are refilled. We simply become the channel, the portal through which love flows. And beyond borders and regions, we see individuals awakening to the love in their own hearts. As easy as breath, breathing in, breathing out, receiving love and giving it back. And so with such ease, it moves about the world, a collective breath in, a collective breath out. The very breath of the divine breathing us into unity and love, weaving us together. So taking one more breath in and out through our own hearts, we recognize the interconnectedness, the blessings of love that never end. Everything we need right here, right now. All we truly need is love. And so it is.
I am, we are, God is. I am, we are, God is. I am, we are, God is. God is. I am, we are, God is. I am, we are, God is. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. Like the roots beneath the redwood trees, there's a web connecting you and me. It's always there, though our eyes can't see. Weaving together all humanity. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. In the deepest heart of everyone, there is love enough to overcome. Joining together, we have just begun. The time of unity has finally come. Sing it with me. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. When confusion makes it hard to grow, and the darkness comes and shakes our souls, we will remember blessings overflow. Standing strong within this truth we know. And what do we know? We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. Let's do that again. We are all one. We are all connected like we mean it. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one.
Thank you, Karie and band, and Lisa, and all of you, because we all did it together, didn't we? Yeah. All right, where's our fearless leader? Did she make it today? Is Danae in the house? Will you stand so we can acknowledge the fabulous job you did leading us? A lot of helpers who we also want to acknowledge. If you volunteered for last night's crab feed, would you please stand and let us acknowledge you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much fun was had. And and so many funds were raised. I don't know how many yet, but I know there were so many, like a lot. So thank you all for contributing to the success of this event in the various ways that you did, including by showing up. So today we're starting a series, and oh, hey, welcome everyone who's online. Thank you, and all of you who are at home, maybe still in your jammies after that raucous night, for tuning in today, and those also who are sitting in the sunshine out on the patio. That looks lovely too. So here we are, gathered as community, and in the communal idea and the unity idea of love. Love is that word that we use in so many ways, right? We say, you know, I love chocolate, and I love shoes, and I love my community, and I love you, and I love God, and I love dancing, and it's like, wow, one word for all of that. It's a big span, isn't it? It's a lot to hold in one word. And so let's take it to at least the spiritual perspective, since we don't have, 100 days to talk about it at this moment in time, and look with a little bit more of a focused lens. Love is the most common, probably single word we use across the planet when we're describing the God of our understanding. So it's just a very common way in which we not all agree, but many agree. So there's that one word can be so powerful and synonymous with God, with the divine, with whatever word you choose to use. And for those of us in unity, I would venture to guess that most of us, when asked what is unity, that somewhere in our definition is the word love. Yes? Yes, that is your experience. Affirmatively so. So as we jump in here, it's into our core values series. So I'm really grateful that Holly is teaching at the same time a personal core values pathway as we look at our collective community core values. And as you work with Holly, you might see where there are connections with your spiritual community's core values and your own. I hope you do. Hope you find that in alignment. So love is part of our mission statement at Unity of Walnut Creek. We say we are a loving, inclusive community. We affirm ourselves as that and always evolving into being that in its fullest expression. And again, it's the first of our 4 core values. So the way we describe it in our core values is like this. Love is our essence. It is often experienced as compassion, as harmony, as generosity and wholeness. As divine love expresses through and as us, we increase our capacity to give and to receive love. So that's just one short way of saying what we mean by love as a core value here. If you think about the world's religions and what they all hold in common, we could also find that at the centerpiece of spiritual life agreed upon by pretty much all the world's religions is love. And even our various teachings align on this idea of treating one another in the spirit of love. So these religions that span the globe offer us a common compass, a way to find the God of our understanding through how we relate to one another and whether we choose love as our guiding light, as our North Star when we are in relationship with each other, which is always, right? Can't escape it, even if you want to. So it is the way it is. I remember when I was being interviewed in ministerial school, and we had to go through a psychological examination as well. And because I'm a bit of an introvert, she said, you know, how is this going to work out for you? Because ministry is relationships. I said, I'll manage. So we have our ways, right, of in our own unique expression, how we connect with each other, how we relate to each other, how we grow together, how we evolve with one another. So let's begin as we look at these world's religions and what they say about how to get there. Just a little snippet from some of the different places around the world. If we begin at the beginning, we go back to what scholars say is the first religion on the planet, which is Hinduism. And I'm wondering, what does Hinduism say? Irene, do you know what Hinduism says? She brought her scroll, so I was pretty sure that she knew. Beautiful, thank you. What about Islam? I wonder what Islam says. Oh, we know someone. Please stand and say it. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing the language to us. Yes. In a famous Jewish story, a Roman came to Rabbi Hillel and asked him to teach him the Torah while he stood on one leg. And how did Rabbi Hillel respond?
That which is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That is the Torah. Everything else is commentary.
In ancient China, Confucius was asked, what is the one word that serves as the principle of how to conduct our lives? And Confucius replied, shu, which means reciprocity. When Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandments that are in the law? He did not respond with hard rules. Instead, he responded from the heart. How did he respond?
He said, the first commandment is that you shall love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself.
Thank you for the wisdom in this room. So situated beneath these edicts of love, of this golden rule of how to treat others and this idea of love your neighbor as yourself, what is underneath all of that is what Karie sang about so beautifully, the idea of spiritual oneness, the idea that we are all one, that we come from the same source, that we are one in our spirit. Now our souls have unique expressions. We rise up out of that space, but that underpinning of the world that is in all living things, that's what brings forth this idea that we are one. And so it's a theoretical concept, it's an intellectual concept, and it's only that until we really let it sink into our hearts. When we take the journey that the prayer chaplain leader Leilani Burt says, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart, sometimes it feels a lot further, but it's only 18 inches. When we take that journey, when we drop down into that place, then we begin to feel what it feels like to experience oneness. Then we begin to see what it's like to be that oneness in the world as we enact from that place. So if we believe that we are with the divine and each other, it's natural then that from that place we will treat everyone with equal respect, with equal kindness, with equal compassion. When we love ourselves and we love our neighbors in these ways, our lives then become a palpable example, something that we can see as somebody else lives from that space. Interestingly, Holly mentioned Mother Teresa, and that's the example I'm going to draw from today. In Calcutta, in India, we all know that that Mother Teresa went and did much of her work. I'm sure most of us know about that anyway. And there, at that time, there were Hindus who, as a part of the caste system and the belief in karma, regarded poverty as an unalterable part of the divine scheme. And so when Mother Teresa came and she was there trying to relieve poverty, it wasn't very well received. They said she was interfering in divine providence. What Mother Teresa did was she just met the needs that she saw because she was acting from a place of oneness. She didn't see the boundaries and the borders that we tend to erect out of a separation consciousness that we hold. And so Mother Teresa saw one day a man lying on the steps of the temple who was very sick. He happened to be a Hindu priest. And she quickly learned that no one would touch him in the temple because he was a Hindu priest, and it was part of the culture. And so he was being left there to die. Mother Teresa scooped him up and carried him to the old abandoned hotel, where she cared for him and for others. And the Hindus at the temple saw what she did for their priest, and they never gave her trouble again. People throughout the world were mystified by Mother Teresa. They were mystified because her life was this constant demonstration of love, of the belief in oneness in action, that didn't allow those kinds of boundaries, those habits of mind that humans have gravitated so much to since the beginning of time, that allow us to believe somehow that we are separate and act from that idea of separation consciousness. She defied that habit of mind and that false belief system, and instead stayed in an alignment with spirit. Now, I'm sure Mother Teresa was not a perfect human being. I'm sure there are ways that she showed up that she was evolving too, as we all are, as Jesus did, as Buddha did. None of us are walking a perfect path. What I like to say about these teachers is they just tend not to forget as often as we do who we really are and what these ideas are. They tend not to fall off the wagon, if you will, of oneness, of love, of humanity as one family. When a Catholic priest asked if Mother Teresa attempted to convert people, she said, "Yes, I convert." She said, "I convert you to be a better Hindu. I convert you to be a better Muslim. I convert you to be a better Protestant or a better Catholic or a better Parsi or a better Sikh or a better Buddhist. And after you have found God, it is for you to do what God wants you to do." In another interview, she was asked, "What do you think of gay people?" And she replied, "You mean beloved children of God?" And the reporter said, Yeah. So what do you think of gay people?" And she said, "You mean beloved children of God?" And the reporter asked her again. And she replied the same way again. And he finally got the point and stopped asking. We intellectually understand religious teachings of love and kindness, but how well do we practice them? That's where we want to go with this core value of love at Unity of Walnut Creek. That's where we want to go as a community, is to our edges, so that we can love in greater and deeper ways, because it is natural for us to do so, because we are made of it, because we are sourced by it, because it runs through our veins, if you will. It is the very breath that we breathe. It is the way that we were designed to be in that alignment, to be in that understanding, and to act from it. So humans seem to be in a state of confusion often about who is our neighbor. Who is my neighbor? Is it the person that lives next door to me? Yes. Is it the person that lives on the other side of me? Yes, quite literally our neighbor. And who else? Is it our friends? Sure. Is it the people we like? Yes. Does it stop there? Well, we might say, all people are my neighbor, except. That's where the line is, right? Except those who don't look like me. Except those who don't act the way I would like them to act. They don't act appropriately. You ever go there? Except those who in this moment aren't doing what I want them to do, or who don't believe like I believe. It's a big, big one in our world right now, isn't it? And it continues to drive that wedge. But guess what? We have a way to open that up. We know how to open that up with our principles, with our understanding that we are one, with the power of this love that we have accessible to us with every breath, with every beat of our heart. We live in this pool of love, in this ongoing source of love, if only we can open our eyes and see, open our hearts and feel, and move our beings into the world in the energy of love. In the midst of Black History Month in America, continued prejudice, of course, continues against Black people today. If we track it back to slavery and that cruel reality of slavery that came out of a consciousness, a certain kind of consciousness that created it. The first slave narrative was composed by an African-American female author, Harriet Jacobs. It was called An Incident in the Life of a Slave Girl. Jacobs shed light on the horrors of slavery from the female perspective, exposing the rampant sexual exploitation of masters against their slaves. And her story begins with her mistress, described as a kind and compassionate person. And the moment when she dies is when her story begins. Harriet recounts a promise made by her mistress that she would receive freedom upon her death. She says, after a brief period of suspense, the will of my mistress was read, and I learned that she had bequeathed me to her niece, a 5-year-old girl. So vanished our hopes. My mistress had taught me the precepts of God's word, thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself. But I was her slave, so I supposed she would not recognize me as her neighbor. I would give much to blot out from my memory that one great wrong. As a child, I loved my mistress. And looking back on the happy days I spent with her, I try to think less with bitterness of this act of injustice. She taught me to read and to spell, and for this privilege, which so rarely falls to the lot of a slave, I bless her memory. There was no doubt in Harriet's mind that her mistress was her neighbor, and that the teachings that her mistress herself had given her were the way to live, to love your neighbor as yourself. And the only way she could wrap her head around how her mistress could walk the teachings of that they shared, their religious and spiritual teachings that they shared, was to think she must not have seen me as her neighbor. She must not have known or allowed that in, that she was my neighbor. Yet Harriet continued to love her neighbor, even though she was crushed by this betrayal. So while this is an extreme example of betrayal that you may never experience anything like it in your life, we've all forgotten somebody is our neighbor. We all from time to time, or at some point in our history, have forgotten that somebody was our neighbor, or maybe this morning, or yesterday, or a few minutes ago. And so it's finding that place. Who am I still leaving out of my heart? Who am I still leaving out of the circle that is considered my neighbor? Where is that except, but, they? Where is that place, other, for you? For us, our spiritual growth is there. To find the edges of your circle and go to the edges of your circle. To drop into your heart and say, okay, where am I drawing that circle and who am I leaving out? And when I go to that edge, how can I find it within myself to expand my circle to include them? It's like the ripples, the concentric circles that ripple out into the world, right? Do we want to ripple out the exceptionalism? Do we want to ripple out the exclusion? Or do we want to ripple out the love, the inclusivity, that everyone is my neighbor edict that we have been given, and to love from that place? Somebody told me this morning, I dropped in and during the service and I looked and I realized that my circle started way out from me and that it was me that was left out of my own neighborly loving circle. So also pay attention to that. Are you left out? Are you seeing yourself somehow as unworthy of love, judging yourself in some way. So this is our work. Where does the line stop in our love? Because that line, that wall that has been erected, is by our own doing. And so we can be the ones who tear down that wall. You think of it as like the wall that separated East and West Berlin. I got to visit that before it fell. And the experience of being in West Berlin and then East Berlin, if you've ever experienced that when the wall was up, was so stark. And then the wall fell, and things changed, and people came together, and there was unition. And that, you can think of these physical examples that help us understand from the spiritual where we might be drawing up our walls and where we can bring them down. Now, sometimes we do this out of temporary protection, and as long as we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, that this is what I can do right now. And right now, I need to protect myself. I feel like I need to protect myself. But as long as we know that that's a temporary thing, like in this moment, I'm protecting myself. It doesn't mean I don't love my neighbor. It just means I'm not like all love in my neighbor right now, right? And that's okay. That's discernment. That's wisdom. That's another one of our core values that we'll get to. But it is about finding the edge where we habitually are leaving people out and letting them in and letting the love flow through us and as us. Love is our essence. So wherever that is, we'll find that edge and grow it. There is a saying, walk a mile in somebody else's moccasins. And that does help us understand a little bit more, right? When we recognize, for one, we can't really ever totally walk in somebody else's moccasins, but we can shift our perspective a little bit to be more generous. So I invite you now to just maybe close your eyes and drop into your heart and see if anybody arises, just asking Spirit, is there anyone I've left out of my heart lately? Maybe it's a group of people, maybe it's a single person. Just see if there's anyone who arises, an image, a feeling, a name. And holding this person in your heart just for now, just seeing them. I invite you to let these few adapted verses of Mary Lathrop's poem, Judge Softly, be kept for them in your heart. Pray, don't find fault with the one that limps or stumbles along the road, unless you have worn the moccasins they wear, or stumbled beneath the same load. There may be tears in the souls that hurt, though hidden away from view. The burden they bear placed on your back may cause you to stumble and fall too. Just walk a mile in their moccasins. I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind and narrow-minded, even unkind. Just for a moment, see the world through their spirit and eyes before you cast a stone or falsely judge. We will be known forever by the tracks we will be known forever by the tracks we leave in other people's lives, our kindnesses and generosity. So take the time to walk a mile in their moccasins. And so releasing our friend, just blessing them and letting them go into the light, our neighbor. This poem was written by Mary Lathrop in 1895, and I have to imagine that part of it was the Native American experience because it was carried, that line was carried on by many tribes, and she mentions the reservations and the ghettos in the fullness of the poem. But it's this idea, right, that we can, while we can't actually experience exactly what somebody else experiences, we can be generous in our interpretations of their actions and their ideas and their beliefs and their words, and we can be willing to see that they have a different view, a different experience, and have a little compassion for that, right? Neighborly love is free of judgment. It's compassionate. It's this practice of imagining what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes. And we can do it all the time in simple ways that are part of our daily life. If you're somebody who drives a lot for work or in everyday life, or just whenever you're driving on the road, a common place where, we've got this armor of a car, somehow people just suddenly, their worst behavior seems to come out, right? Suddenly you're humming along, you're singing some new thought song, you're thinking about your affirmations, and somebody cuts you off, right? Or whatever they do. They hit their brakes right in front of you. And there's this maybe shift for you out of that really merry place you were just in. Anybody ever experienced this? Yeah, you don't have to raise your hand. And so what can we do in those moments but recognize I am not driving their car, so to speak. I'm not walking in their shoes. I'm not living that person's life. So I do not know where they need to get to go right now. I do not know the circumstances of their lives. And so I'll just say to myself, maybe their best friend just died, I don't know what's happening in this person's life, but if we extend the most generous interpretation that we can to their actions, then we, for one thing, stay in a place of peace, and we also don't put more of that stuff out into the world. We instead are recognizing that we are in this together, that we are neighbors, that we are operating in the spirit of love together to get to where it is that we are headed. And so it's that kind of practice, I think, that we are called into. Love is kindness. I love, Brene Brown says, clear is kind. You've probably heard me say that a lot. But it helps me a lot because it helps me recognize that clarity, that speaking clarity, that making clear agreements with one another, that speaking our needs helps us to operate together in a way that is fair, that somebody else knows what our ideas and expectations and desires are. And so it's being clear about where we're coming from, what we're thinking. It's also, in communication, a huge piece of it is about listening from that space, right? Listening in love, listening past the words when you get triggered by the words, and listening from a place of, I am here in the presence of a neighbor that I love in the spirit of oneness, and we all make mistakes. And so whatever they just said that wasn't so skillful, I'm going to look behind it and I'm going to keep listening. And maybe to make as a general rule, we listen at least twice as much as we speak. We'll find that we learn a lot more, and it's a lot easier to come from this presence and this response that is loving. Another way that I often think about love in this relationship of our neighbors is celebration, that it is a celebration to love our neighbors. And what is it about that celebration is that recognizing that they are a unique expression, that that person's diversity actually brings a gift to our doorstep. Remember back in the early days of diversity training, we should say we need to teach tolerance. I tell you, it feels really good as a lesbian to hear somebody say, I tolerate you. It's like, woo, that's great, thank you. So thank goodness we've evolved to let tolerance fall away and to recognize it's about celebration, right? It's about celebration of who we are, that the uniqueness that we bring weaves together a fabric in our society that is better, that is stronger, that is more interesting. The ministerial class I belonged to was the most diverse class in the history of Unity, before or after still. And a lot of the class before and after us would just kind of look at our class and say, wow, you all just kind of always have this sort of unity about you. Interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes they had, clashes in their, and we really didn't have that. I mean, we had discussions, we had differences of opinion. I remember a really big one when it was about, were we going to wear robes at graduation or not? Had we not had such a diverse class, we wouldn't have known that the two people that came from communist countries were totally against the idea of all looking the same and wearing the robes. But we couldn't get there until we had deeper and deeper discussions and realized, oh, it's that walk that you took in your moccasins that tells you, I don't want to be the same. I came here for a unique expression. And so it was a beautiful coming together and a learning for all of us because we were diverse. And so it is because we have diversity and we celebrate that diversity that we grow, that we deepen, and that we offer the world a better, sweeter, more powerful gift. So celebration, not tolerance. Respect, authenticity, true welcome. That's what it's about for us to grow and grow and grow as a community that is loving and inclusive. And if everybody in this room says, this week, I'm going to explore where my edges are. I'm going to go out to the edges of my circle, and I'm going to look and see, could I just increase that circle a little more and let a few more people in? If we all did that, imagine how much more love there's going to be in the world just this week because of our spiritual practice here, because of a core value that we have claimed. And therefore, it's not just on paper, it's a lived value. A neighborly love, that's what we're about. All humans are our neighbors. All living beings are our neighbors. And so to love them is to include them in our hearts. To love them looks like kindness, looks like compassion, looks like celebration. Let's affirm it together. It's coming. My neighbors are all living beings, and I love them with kindness, compassion, and celebration. So it is.
Thank you, Kristin. It's a great workshop for us to work on that circle and who's in it and who's out of it and how we're going to move everybody, how we're going to expand the circle out. Just thanks for reminding us and helping us. Our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. You'll notice our fantastic prayer chaplains are wearing their lavender stoles.
Whether you have a joy or concern in your heart this morning, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
And now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Yes, thank you. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive, because in truth there is no lack or limitation, and abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community. In addition to checks and cash, you may download the Give app or scan the QR code on the back of the yellow card that's in the back of the chair in front of you, or set up a bill pay through your bank. Those of you at home, you may click on the donate button on the Watch Live page.
And now I'd like to invite Laurel Patterson to the platform. You and I can just sit back here.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Last week, we had a guest speaker, Dimitri, who talked about tithing, which is giving 10% of your income where you're spiritually fed. And he shared his personal story about how when he tithed, his business boomed, and then he did an experiment and stopped tithing, and things kind of fell apart, and then he started tithing again, and everything was great. So the Bible actually says to bring your tithes to the storehouse and prove me now, says God, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that there will not be room enough to receive it. So I used to make a monthly budget to make sure that I was on track and could pay all my bills, and there was never really enough money to pay all the bills, and in fact, there was more month left at the end of the paycheck. So I knew I couldn't possibly tithe. It's like there wasn't enough already. How could I make that work? So, but I decided to try it, and a miracle happened. When I tithed, there was suddenly enough money to pay my bills. I don't know how that's possible. More money was going out, and yet there was enough. And I realized it only could be a miracle. There's no other explanation. So I have an invitation for you. Go ahead and do your own little experiment. Give your normal, whatever it is that you do, either a tithe or an offering or a donation or whatever, and then look at unexpected income, unexpected blessings that come to you. Like maybe someone takes you to lunch, or maybe you get a raise or a bonus at work, or maybe you get a refund from your taxes that you didn't, more than what you expected, or maybe you find $1 on the sidewalk. Keep track of all of that this week, and then next Sunday, tithe on that extra amount, and see what happens. Prove me now.
Thank you, Laurel. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand. Repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Let us gather all together in a circle, safe and strong, with our sisters close beside us, reminding us we all belong. Let our lives be an example of the truth that we embrace, and our joy forever flowing, reflected in each loving face. Let us gather all together in a circle, safe and strong, with our brothers close beside us, reminding us we all belong. Let our lives be an example of the truth that we embrace, and our joy forever flowing, reflected in each loving face. Let us gather all together in a circle, safe and strong, with our families close beside us, reminding us we all belong. Let our lives be an example of the truth that we embrace, and our joy forever flowing, reflected in each loving face. Well, let us gather all together in a circle, safe and strong,
Thank you. What a perfect song. We talked about circles. Who knew? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for the love in this place that permeates from this place, that moves through the hearts of each one who are here, who are gathered with us, whether on the patio, online, or in this room, and that bring out into the world this concentric circle of love that continues as a wave throughout our world, awakening each one to the love we have within, to the love we are made of, and to the love that we multiply by letting it be as simple as a breath in and a breath out. Let's bless these gifts, this prosperity that we know is an expression of love, as we call it a love offering. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. Let's sing our children in.
We are a circle of love.
We are a circle of love. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you and the light in me are one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We had a very sweet and serene morning with the little ones today. We have Caden and Julia, and they are both 3, about to turn 4, huh? Yes. Yeah. Just the 2 of them, just the 2 little buddies. And then I'm so grateful to Sarah for your help today, who's going to be helping with youth ministry when she can. So honoring you, Sarah. Thank you. We wanted to let you know that one of our favorite fundraisers is happening again for youth ministry. It's the Seas Candy Spring Candy Sale is online. So if you love Seas Candy and you want to order springtime treats, check out the Unity of Walnut Creek website, and you can order them. They'll come to your home, and part of the profits come to our youth ministry program. So hop on there if you're able. And
That was really cute.
yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, little froggies or bunnies. I'm not sure what kind of hopping's going on there. You want to be blessed? Yeah, of course. Let's bless our children, our teachers, and our youth together. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. And now we experience our new closing, which is today kind of a nice combo of the prayer of protection and the peace song. So enjoy.
Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
Stand up in body or spirit.
Wherever I
You are the love and the light and the peace on earth right now. So let's radiate our love, have fun, and spread joy.